Welcome to Maheepathi Talks. As you know that because of this COVID-19, we have got some time to reflect on ourselves and think about ourselves. No, colleges stopped, school stopped, but learning never stopped, and sharing of knowledge also never stopped. This is an opportunity for us to learn, and there are eminent personalities who have been visiting our Maheepathi Talks and delivering the sessions. I'm glad and happy that people who have got renowned personality and also expertise in their subject are sharing their knowledge to make the society a better society and to make them more skilled and more employable and more happy. As a part of this, we are able to deliver many sessions. Till now, we have delivered almost 90 sessions. I'm happy that now today's resource person, Prasad, uh, Prasad sir has accepted to deliver a session which is very important and need of the hour. That is teaching of LSRW for enhancing communication. And I know that all English faculty will admire this topic because communication skills, as all the four skills LSRW, listening, speaking, reading, and writing. And I'm happy and privileged to introduce today's resource person, Mr. Prasad. He has done his post graduation in MA English Literature and MA in ELT and B.Ed, and he's pursuing his PhD. And the good news is that he's about to submit his thesis also. He has got more than a decade of experience in teaching field as an assistant professor of English. He has published 10 articles, presented 12 papers in international and national level conferences throughout India, attended 7 workshops in national and international level. And he's a person who is always ever learning and ever sharing with the people to make this society a better society, especially the English fraternity, to make them feel more happy and more skilled, more equipped to make their teaching more enjoyable and learnable. Thank you very much, Prasad sir, for having accepted to deliver the session on the topic, the importance of LSRW in teaching communication skills. Now, I invite Dr. Prasad sir, of course, would be Prasad sir, Dr. Prasad sir, to deliver the session.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much, sir. Dr. Srinivas sir, for inviting me as a resource person for today's talk. I also thank other organizers of this program. Good evening, my dear participants. Good evening, everyone. This is a pleasant evening to interact with you people. I'm so happy. This is my first webinar. I hope this webinar will help me to get a good confidence to develop in future. Now I'm going to start my presentation through PowerPoint. Yeah, I'm waiting for the presentation. So, yeah. Yes. Yeah. This is my title: Teaching of LSRW for enhancing communication skills. Yeah. Before I'm going to start my presentation, just I want to introduce myself. I'm Prasad, working as an assistant professor. I'm pursuing my PhD in ELT. Yeah, coming to my presentation, I already read my title, and we are all know that importance of communication. Today, I would like to speak a few words about the importance of communication in English language. So now coming to communication. Sir, is it audible? Is it audible, Maheepathi sir?
Yes, sir, you're audible. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah. No, thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, presentation now after my title. Next slide. Next slide. Okay, no problem.
Sir, you need to unmute your microphone and speak, sir. Prasad sir, you are not audible. You need to unmute your microphones.
Yeah. So now is it audible?
Yeah, you are audible, sir. Please go
Yes.
ahead.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. No, so far what how I started, it is not audible, sir. Greeting the people.
You can start
Shall
from
I
the
start?
beginning, sir. You can start from the beginning. Shall I go
Thank
to
you. Thank you,
backslide?
sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much, Dr. Srinivas, sir, for inviting me as a resource person for today's live talk. I also thank other organizers of this program and my dear participants. Very good evening to one and all. This is my first webinar. This webinar will help me to get a good confidence to develop certain things in my life. Now, before I'm going to deliver my talk, just I would like to introduce my name. I'm Prasad. I'm pursuing my PhD in ELT. Coming to my title in the presentation, Teaching of LSRW Skills for Enhancing Communication Skills. Teaching LSRW for enhancing communication skills. So I'm going to speak about certain words, the importance of communication skills. As we all know that the importance of communication, especially in English language, how much importance is there. Now coming to communication skills, next slide, uh, next slide. Yeah, communication skills. Yeah, in this communication is derived from Latin, which means to share our feelings, opinions, thoughts to the others. So communication is a skill. First of all, what is meant by skill? Skill is an ability to pursue something. I give an example. If your father has a lot of property or a lot of bank balance, after your father's generation, it can transfer to your account. But whereas a skill, if your father is a driver, if your father is a swimmer, or if your father is a musician, at the time, the skills cannot transfer to your account. So, like your father, you have to put your hard work and you have to put your efforts to achieve the skill. So if you see that in the skill, how your father achieved the skill, for example, in the driving, when he wants to learn driving and he met an expert who is in driving and he explained about how to drive a car, how to handle the steering and how to handle the gear system and everything. After the explanation, your father started to learn practical way. So in the practical way, days passed. After 20 days, your father is very happy to drive the car along with the road. Okay, after months passed, after 6 months, he became an expert in driving. See, skill means similarly, it is applicable to communication skills. See, skill without your effort, we cannot achieve the skill, any kind of skill. So, communication is a skill, it comes by practice. There are many teachers, they taught about communication skills. How so far we are practicing? If you practice well, we can achieve the skill. So now coming to language skills. So what is the connection language to communication skills? I will tell you. See here, language skills, there are four types of language skills are there: listening, speaking, reading, writing. Yeah, I would like to give my example. Without teaching, I put a title, Teaching of LSRW. Without teaching also, learner can good at listening and speaking. How it is? I will show you an example. I will give an example. If you take an illiterate person, neither he can read nor write from Andhra Pradesh, he knows how to speak Telugu and how to understand by listening Telugu language. Is an illiterate person. If he gets a job in Jharkhand, for example, if he gets job in Jharkhand as a cook, any other school, Gurukulam or any other schools, so he has to move there for the sake of his survival. So initial stage, he struggled a lot, okay, and to get the communication from the people. So days passed, months passed. After 3 years, we can see that the person can speak Hindi language very well, like a native speaker. So the teaching aspect did not happen at the place, because where what happens make him too good at Hindi language, there needs analysis, because he has to survive there. To survive there, he has to learn. How he learned that listening and speaking skills? When he go to market, interacting with the people, as well as when he go outside, interacting with the people, where he works in the job, interacting with the people, and surrounding places near to his home. And ultimately, all these things, these influence on him, became him good at speaking by listening. So where the teaching is necessary, I will explain in the speaking skills. Don't worry about. Now, coming to listening skills, next slide. Next slide. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, sub skills in listening skills. See, um, how would we see generally in the listening skills, in these language skills are comfortable to teach the students in the classroom or in the laboratory. Apart from that, also we can develop their listening and speaking skills, so they can make them comfortable. But what I observed that in the classroom, they feel shyness to interact with the students while I'm conducting group discussion and pair work and other things in the laboratory. They feel shyness to interact with the students, though they did these studies in English medium background. They feel that to interact or in front of or among their classmates. So in order to avoid such kind of fear, so not only to teach LSRW skills in the classroom or laboratory, they can also expose in outside, okay, to attend certain things. For example, just listening. Just listening means listening to general lectures and seminars. If they attend general lectures, while they are listening to general lectures, if they note down, I mean, note taking the points, or after the general lecture, after listening to that, if we make the gist of the points, how so far he listened, how so far he understood, there is a possibility to develop listening skills in that way. There is no pressure like a classroom. There is a curriculum to develop. Curriculum is there for the sake of examination to focus on that. He can leave the fear. Okay, he can leave the shyness in a friendly nature. He can listen to that general lectures. Okay, next, coming to next way to develop listening skills. Okay, there are certain ways. Next way, listening for specific purpose. It is also not like classroom. You see that when I always encourage my students to attend conferences, seminars, there a possibility is there to interact with all the people, freedom, liberty is there. Okay, so they can also observe other people, their body language, their presentation, their ideas, pedagogy of the title. They can understand it, freely interact. So during that time, there is a wide scope to learn to listening and speaking skills. There is no specific, here is the specific purpose is that there is no stress on them in the attending conferences and seminars. Coming to casual listening, I always suggest my students feel when you learn language, enjoy with the learning aspect. So in the casual learning, not only to learn language at your home, you can also learn, not only learn language at your college or some other place, you can also learn at your home by enjoying, listening to music, English songs, listening to radio, listening to news through radio. So their households also, there is a scope while they are listening, while they are doing some other works, they can listen, they can enjoy, they can listen to their songs. So that much of scope is there. They can also enjoy while they are learning. In the casual learning, you see that further classified into listening for sound. While they're listening, ultimately, if they don't understand the sound, they try for sound. What is the song? They try to sing, they try to imitate. At the same time, listening for comprehension. If they don't know the meaning, okay, and they try for the meaning, particular word. They try for the meaning for a particular word. So it happens in the listening for comprehension. These are the general way to develop the listening skills, not in classroom, in outside also. Student can attend, by attending all these things, he can develop. And coming to speaking skills, next slide. Next slide. Yeah, next slide. Yes. Yes, sub skills in speaking. So there are 4 sub-skills are there to develop in to develop speaking skills. Intra-communication. How many learners or students they use intra-communication? In the intra-communication, you see that one who practice himself. There is a great author, Shakespeare, used a word soliloquy in his famous drama Hamlet. That means one who speaks himself. So if you practice at your home in front of mirror, this intra-communication will give you a confidence to speak in the public. In the public speaking, happily the speaker can speak by practice. At the same time, he can, when he wants to present anything in the conference, he can also present. So in front of the mirror, not only to develop speaking skills, he can also develop non-verbal communication skills. His posture, gesture, eye contact, facial expressions, okay, body language. Similarly, he can develop non-verbal communications along with speaking skills. So such kind of possibility is there. So I suggest the learners practice at home, okay, individually, not only in classroom. It is a pleasant atmosphere at home. You practice yourself. Next up, intercommunication. I always suggest my students to interact with his friends in English language every time. Whenever he wants to go to canteen, whenever he wants to go to ground, whenever in the place in the campus, or when he make a call to his friend, try to interact in English language. So through intra-communication in the laboratory, there are several activities are there to develop their speaking skills. For example, paid work. The paid work, interacting two people. If a teacher assign a topic to them, two people, the teacher gives some time to them to discuss. Later, they come with their ideas. In there, the exchanging is there, exchange of ideas. Similarly, listening and speaking tasks happen there through intra-communication. So, role play and dialogue writing, these things will help them to develop their communication skills and speaking skills. Coming to that group communication, there are people good at intra-communication. They are afraid of group communication. So in order to avoid, why I told you why they are afraid, in the laboratory, in the language laboratory, when I ask my student to speak certain things in the group discussion, they are unable to open their mouth. So in order to avoid their fear or shyness, I suggest them, you go with a group of people to visit canteen, I mean in the college, to go to ground or some other places or theater, and your friends are making, generally make the communication informal way in English language. Ultimately, you can get a daring step to speak in the classroom or in the laboratory. You can develop through group communication. Also, there is a possibility to develop communication skills. And next one, speaking skills. Next one, mass communication. And we are afraid of mass communication, to communicate with large people. So generally, when they have mic to communicate with large people, they are afraid. In order to avoid this, first you take an opportunity to utilize there, and you, whatever it may be, after practicing, you go there and you participate in that mass communication. Ultimately, first maybe you cannot achieve, but gradually you can achieve that mass communication. And there are, I'm told you, even teaching aspect is necessary in the speaking skills at this moment. Linguistic skills. If a person wants to become speaking and listening, teaching is not necessary. But if a person wants to become good at speaking in an accurate way, there teaching is essential. Even in the linguistic skills, if you observe data and pronunciation and stress, intonation, rhythm, all these things cannot come by himself, individual learning. Teaching is essential there. He has to take the help from the teacher. He has to pay concentration in the classroom. So for the sake of linguistic skills, grammar and phonetics and all these things, he must learn by teaching. And communication skills in speaking, even he's not accurate, he can communicate with the people by listening to language. Okay, after several years, I'm sure that. Next slide. Yeah, there are some sub skills to develop your reading skills. See that there are two activities simultaneously involve two activities while we are reading, while we are involving the reading activity. One is mechanical activity, then another one is mental activity. There are three sub skills are there in the reading aspect. You can see that reading for word perception, reading for comprehension. When you see that library skills, these are main skills in the reading sub skills. See that when you involve in the reading for word perception, recognize letters and words, sentences and paragraphs, recognizing that. So for that mechanical activity involved with this kind of reading, and reading for comprehension. When you want to know a word, a particular meaning for a word, mental activity involved. In that reading comprehension, there are several activities are there to develop reading skills. Stimming, and as a student or everyone should have this kind of activity. Stimming means, okay, and usually we do when we read the newspaper, when you read the magazine, every day we do. It is essential to develop our fast reading skills. Okay, when we read very fast, ultimately the time will be saved and we can understand where it is necessary. We can focus on that. And next one is scanning. Scanning, searching for a bit of information. For example, the examination results, when you see for your result, when you see for your number, and a telephone dictionary, when you see a particular number, or a train schedules, when you see the particular train there. So scanning is essential. Okay, there to develop the this kind of reading. And next one is skipping. Skipping means this kind of reading. You maybe the book may be more than 120 pages. It consists of that. So we cannot focus to everything. So quickly you read and leave unnecessary matter and gather the exact information, what you necessary, main points. So the skipping will help you to develop your reading skills to gather the main points. And next one is in-depth reading. See that in-depth reading, intensive and extensive readings are involved. In the intensive reading, see that in intensive reading, specific purpose, I mean, involved in the for knowing is a paid interest very consciously to read it. But extensive reading, you see that a text reading for enjoyment, like reading short stories, all these things involved. We can develop intensive and extensive reading when we involve with the students in the classroom. So that is called intensive and extensive reading. And next skill, final skill in the the final skill in the reading skills, library skills. How many students they have library skills? They are utilizing library skills nowadays in engineering colleges as well as in the degree colleges. You see that in the degree colleges or engineering colleges, very rare cases to go to library to practice with note taking, summarizing, outlining. See that in the engineering colleges, simply they depend on materials. What teacher gives the material, and when they go, when I ask my students last semester, what did you read some papers? What did you study? And they told that this is the paper, this is the title. I studied the paper. Can you tell the reference books for the particular subject, particular title? Can you tell that? They are unable to open their mouth. So unless they practice with the textbooks, original textbooks, okay, in the library, okay, while they are reading, okay, they can develop note taking, summarizing. These are special skills to develop in the library. So I suggest always my students develop these skills to visit library, to read the original text. You can also take the material from your teacher, but this kind of reading will help you to become good at language skills. Reading skills connect to language. Once if you become a good reader, ultimately, I am sure that you become a good writer. Okay, next slide. Thank you, sir. Next slide. Next slide. Sub skills in writing. What are the ways to develop writing skills? Generally, how a text will communicate. The text will communicate having a good coherence, cohesion, and a grammatical components, syntax, and all these are there. And even punctuations, All these are need to maintain. Then only the text will be communicate with the reader, and we can see that good writing skills are there. We can observe there in the text. So in order to become good at writing, okay, what do we do? What do we have? We see that these are the sub skills a person need to develop to become a good writer. For example, the following sub skills you see that suggested by Reims 1983. See, mechanics, handwriting, spelling, punctuation. Teaching is essential. Okay, with teaching you can learn to become expert in spelling, to become expert in pronunciation. Their teaching is essential. Without teaching, I'm sure that you people can't get good writing skills. You have to export these skills. It comes by teaching only in the classroom. And word choice, vocabulary, idioms, tone. Okay, tone in the sense there are 9 types. Okay, what kind of tone are there used in the essay? For example, joyful tone, sad. Okay, so likewise there are 9 kinds of tones are there to observe. And then next, organization. Okay, organizing paragraphs, organizing sentences, organizing topics. Okay, cohesion and unity. Okay, these are essential to focus on that to develop your writing skills. And syntax, sentence structure, to develop your sentence structure. And unless teaching happened, how could you develop that structure and subject verb agreement, all these things, and sentence boundaries and stylistic choice, in the grammar part, rules for subject verb agreement, articles, pronouns. Individually, the person cannot learn all this, cannot expose it with all these things. The person has to acquire teaching, a good teaching in the classroom. Next one is content, relevance. Okay, clearly organizing. When you write, you should know the content, what content is you are going to use that. And next one is writing process, getting ideas also, it is very most important. Generating ideas, presenting there. So presentation is very most important. Though you are good at writing, maybe sometimes in the presentation you fail you. So in order to overcome all these all these difficulties, you must become expert in these things. And purpose, the reason for writing, okay, justification, that you must expose these things. Okay, yeah, I would next. Yeah, see, I found one thing from my students. They always make some mistakes whenever they write a letter to class teacher or HOD, or to write a letter to principal to get permission to celebrate anything in the campus, and they make some mistakes. Though they did their studies in English medium, they make some mistakes. So I found that mistakes. I feel that how can I avoid such kind of mistakes from my students? Then if I take separate classes, they cannot pay concentration because they're tied with the complete timetable with other subjects. So the classroom is the sufficient time so to teach writing skills well. So prescribed curriculum, essays are there under JN2K. Through essays, why can't they develop their writing skills? Why can't they develop on grammatical components? Why can't they develop that punctuations? Why can't they develop what are the components of language components, grammatical things? Why can't they develop all these things through a text while I'm teaching? Many teachers, they focus on only theme. Okay, they're giving theme, what is there, and teaching and coming outside. In addition to that, if they focus on writing skills, students, they become feel very happy, they become good at writing skills. See, after teaching, if a student does not have practice, they cannot learn good writing skills. So that, my dear students, I always suggest, I give one quotation, that is Elia Hill is a great writer. In his essay, Principles of Good Writing, he said that writing skills, it comes by practice 99%, and 1% is by inspiration, by inspired by other people. So practice is essential. Okay, if you have a good practice thoroughly, ultimately you can overcome the difficulty in writing skills. Okay, and next we come to the, according to Reims, a great language expert, certain experts like Reims and other writers, they share their views in the writing aspect. Firstly, writing reinforces the grammatical structures, idioms, and vocabulary that may have been taught. See that grammatical structures, vocabulary, these are all things may have been taught. Secondly, the student write, they have it. Secondly, students have a chance to write the language. After teaching, they feel that free to write. Okay, whether they make mistakes, the teacher is there to correct, no doubt about it. Thirdly, because already it happened, teaching is already happened in the firstly. Secondly, they can correct themselves while they are writing also. Thirdly, when the students learners write effort to explain ideas is there. Okay, when the students can express their ideas, they can explain easily after learning. In the thirdly, and it is not visible, some kind of video it is here is there. Yeah, I'm not visible to read this. Okay, anyhow, it is not a big problem. I can handle this. Okay, writers struggle with what to put down next. How to, okay, so that generally the students, after all these things, so finally they struggle with writing. They want to generate new ideas. Whatever they have their brain, they can put in the paper. Happily, they can put in the paper. Happily, they can write, my dear participants. So, discovery is something, writing in the sense, discover something. After exposure with all these things, you can discover something, what you want to put, how you present in a chronological order. You can get these things by practice. And next slide. Next slide. Can I have next slide? Yeah. Then next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah. Yeah. Sagnis is a writer, another linguistic, and another linguistic he focused on. No, it is not. Another side previously showed that, no, and there is a next, but yeah, it is. Yeah. See this. Sagnis is a writer, language expert. He shared his views. Okay, in his point of view. Writing is a record of an ideas to develop as a. It is a process. Writing. Oh, it is not visible. Okay, let me see that. Okay, I'll see that. No problem. Okay, writing is the record of an ideas. It is a process when. Can you? Somebody is operating, giving some. It is not visible slide to me. Yeah, it is now. It is visible. No problem. I'm comfortable. No problem. So, whereby initial ideas gets extended and refined. He thinks twice with an idea. The writing, since it connects to the cognitive activity, involve cognitive activity. It is not like speaking. In the speaking, spontaneously you can speak. In the speaking, if there are any grammatical errors, people will accept. But in the writing, will not accept, because writing is a written document. We have to care about the writing skills whenever we write. So it connects to the cognitive activity. So in the thinking, it takes some time to generate some ideas in the process of writing. So he said that according to Flowers and Hayes, firstly, writing is an act of discovery. Secondly, it is a goal director, purposeful activity. So secondly, it is a purpose. In what purpose we are writing, we expose that. Thirdly, it involves a conscious exploration of subject matter to write about. Lastly, writing involves synthesis of complex, means a sentence construction, all these things. So cognitive operation. And you see that all these things are involved. According to Nessie views, say that teaching writing is an important, because writing is a skill which is in schools, colleges, universities. Because English is a linked language, global language, and international language. Why in the colleges, universities, they use only English language? Because there are some students from other states, they come and join. Why they are not coming, communicating in the mother tongue? Because of other students also, they can understand. Even the worldwide communication, that is even in the India, whenever they give some notices, even other students also able to understand, even the organization. For example, if you take autonomous colleges or affiliated colleges, whenever they produce the notice is meant to higher officials, J into K, it can Okay, so that at the time, English is an official language to understand. So that much of importance is there. So we have to develop our writing skills. Next slide, next slide. Yeah, writing involves both cognitive and behavioral aspects. Here if you observe, in the learning aspect, in the not writing, writing in the sense learning aspect involved. In the learning aspect, cognitive and behavioral aspects are involved. Cognitism, behavioralism involved in the learning aspect. So that we create a beautiful environment in the classroom. You create a beautiful environment to the students. Always you teach with patience. Okay, whenever they make mistake, as a teacher to correct every time. And ultimately, some rules they cannot expose it with, even they learn grammar very well in the subject object connecting sentences in the grammatical aspect, subject verb agreement. See that, for example, I'm discussing about the things. There are some professors also they use I'm discussing about. See that, generally how they know student after discuss not to use about. There is a rule. Even some students they make mistakes while they're writing. I bought dozens bananas. So what is dozen itself does not carry plural dozen. It is not plural. So to correct the grammatical aspects, okay, even where the mistake arises there, so they have to learn grammatical things very well. Then only they can become good at writing. Though they learn subject verb agreement is not enough. All these things, the rest of the things also has to focus on to develop a good writing. Okay, punctuation is not enough, coherence is not enough. Okay, the rest of the things also it is necessary to develop. Next, coming to language use, these plans derive mainly from the language. Says they include grammatical rules produced for the selecting vocabulary, social conventions, governing speech. So here I give one example. Okay, and how could we learn language? When I did my MA, in the initial stage, I'm afraid of language. I did my studies up to graduation in Telugu medium. I'm afraid of language. Like me, there are some my friends from Telugu medium. They are also afraid of language. Some classmates, some are girls. They did their studies in English medium as well. They did BA literature. Okay, their graduation in BA literature. They exposed it with the good speaking skills, but we are afraid. But there is a strong desire. There is an interest with the burning desire with us. So to do MA English, to complete, to speak English with my friends, or to speak English with my professors. Always we think. So we did not quit there. And finally, when it comes to fourth year, we achieved. We used intra communication. I told you, intra. We practiced at home in several times. We practiced with friends as well as we read some books for the sake of examination. When we go to library, particular novel, particular drama, and all these things we read while we are learning. We learn many things. We expose it with good communication skills. See why I gave. If you have an interest with the burning desire, definitely you become good at language. So you can become good at communication skills. And one more thing, my dear students, I give an example. Sachin Tendulkar, how he became a good cricketer. In the initial stage, while he is practicing, he was wounded several times, but he did not leave. He has a burning desire. He did not discourage. While you are learning, you make some mistakes. Don't worry about it. You are criticized by some other people. Okay, no, nothing to worry about. You are a learner. You are learning. Just you continue your hard work. Continue. You put your effort continuously. Ultimately, finally, you become a good communicator in English language. Okay, my dear students. Next up, coming to that, this is my personal example of what I want to give. Finally, I got MA first class. Initial stage, I worried about how can I pass even first semester. See that in the final semester, and I got good confidence. Yeah, can I get first class? Yeah, I have to get. If I get a job in engineering college, first class is necessary. So that I did hard work. I got more than first class. I got 65%. And 2 people we got in MA. Okay, in my friends. Okay, those days getting first class is very difficult, but we achieved in the sense because a desire, burning desire. Okay, coming to next talk. This is for example, how you become passionate of language. So how you create passionate of language, so that I give an example. And next, behavioral aspects involves the automation of these plans that that can convert it into fluent performance in real time. This occur okay this occur in your life through practice, converting plans into performance. So practice is essential. So very rare case in our studies, while we are pursuing, we never practice. We practice, generally we prepare for exams. It is not enough. Exams are not criteria. Skills are main important. So if you focus on only subject and everything, if you don't bother about the skills, I give you one example. If I give a check without my sign, is it valid? It is not valid. So that with your percentage, with your subject, communication skills is your sign in the check. So if you have that sign, finally you got placement in the fourth year or third year. People are degree in third year in engineering, they can get placement in fourth year. Bother about skills, not to bother about exams. Exams, in the point of view, you can easily pay your concentration in the classroom, but skills cannot come like that by practice only. So next slide. This is my thank you very much for giving this opportunity. I thank all participants having a good patience. This is my presentation. Today's what I want to give my views, ideas to share with you on communication skills. Thank you, Dr. Srinivasarao, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. Now it's open for Q&A. If anybody has got any queries, they can ask. It was a wonderful session. I spoke all the 4 skills which are very important, and how we can improve our communication skills. If anybody has got any queries, you can raise your hand so that I'll unmute you. You can ask. Or if you want to ask questions in the chat box, that's fine. We're getting many compliments, that's fine. But we would like to know that if there are any queries, also we'd like to address them. Sir is ready to address those queries and all.
Sir, unmute yourself.
Yeah, we have got only the information like Venkataraman sir, very nice presentation, good presentation, sir. Chakrapani, good information regarding writing skills, but only compliments. So no queries. It shows that no, it was very easy and everybody could understand the query, and they're able to understand each and every point. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. I'll just give me 1 second so that I'll check on YouTube. If I got any queries on YouTube, we'll try to check over there. Really, it was a wonderful session, and I request anybody to at least share their opinions. What are the areas that they could understand and what made them take home today? What are the takeaways for them? What they could make it and what they could learn better.
I thank their compliments. I thank for them for giving compliments. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Lalita Soundarajan says, good evening, sir. I am Mrs. S. Lalita, Assistant Professor of English, Government Polytechnic, Daman. Okay, thank you, madam. Thank you for attending. Venki, good evening, sir. I am K. Venkat Krishnan. Lalita Soundarajan, excellent content, sir. Thank you so much. Okay, coordination between the brain and hand, very good. Thank you, everyone. We got now. Before we go ahead, I'd like to take 1 or 2 takeaways. What you have learned in this session. Any one person would like to share your opinions? Dr. Polisetti sir says, great flow, sir. Though we have been teaching LSRW, why can't we improve communication skills? This is a question, sir. Professor, sir. Though we have been teaching LSRW, why can't we improve communication skills?
Yes. It is a good question. So I told you initially, the teaching aspect is not
Little
only
bit
an
louder, sir.
important. Louder? Okay. Is it louder? Okay.
Now it's
Am I?
audible, sir. Little louder.
It's not audible. Yeah, yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. Am I audible now? Am I
Now
audible?
you are audible, sir. Now you are audible.
Yeah, yeah. It is a good question. Teaching is not only thing happened. I told you practice is very most important. In addition to teaching, practice is very essential to become good at communication skills. See, there are some other language experts. They told you even to become good at writing, practice is essential. L.A. Hill, a great writer, through his essay, he told that writing skills comes by practice. So not only teaching, let them the students to practice by giving some tasks. By giving some tasks, okay. Ultimately, they can develop. Ultimately, they can develop the language skills. Am I clear? Am I clear? Is it audible, sir?
Yeah, it is audible, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Am I clear with that answer?
Yeah, yeah. I think very good information to us, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Yeah, it
Please
was.
raise your questions. Please raise your questions, my dear participants. It is my first presentation. Yeah, I have to answer these questions. I can learn many things through my practical example, practical. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think Dr.
No,
K.
no, no.
Chakrapani raised the hand. Somebody,
Chakrapani, sir.
yeah, Dr. K. Chakrapani raised the
Yeah,
hand. It is
Chakrapani,
showing.
sir. You can speak, sir. You can unmute yourself and speak, sir. Chakrapani, sir. You can unmute yourself and speak, sir. Dr. K. Chakrapani, sir.
Sir, good evening, sir, Srinivas Garu, and today's speaker, Mr. S. Prasad, has presented well for this program. Whereas LSRW skills has been LSRW skills improving a lot towards teaching of English fraternity and always students also. See, my question. See, I'm not asking any question. Overall, it's a good presentation. I would like to thank the organizers and I would like to thank the today's present speaker, Mr. S. Prasad, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Had a good presentation today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Chakrapani, for your good compliment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And I hope that no, the session was very much useful. And I request everybody to implement those tips that shared by Mr. Prasad about all the four skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. No, each and every skill spoke in detail. I'm glad that no, the most important point how we can make them to make themselves more effective and more learnable. You know, because sometimes people ask, students ask, do I need to if I want to improve my spoken English skills, what should I do? Like Prasad rightly said that we need to develop all the four skills, then only we'll be able to. Or else now we'll end up in only writing skills. Sometimes who's good at writing but not good at speaking. Sometimes who's good at speaking, not good at writing. No, all the skills are very important. Okay. Thank you so much, Prasad sir. Thanks a lot for your wonderful session. I thank all the participants, Dr. Chakrapan sir, Polisetti sir, Manisha, Venkatratnam sir, Challa Gayatri, Chandrasekhar, and Satya Monica, Devi Prasanna, T. Kumar, uh, Charishma, Pulindi Sharmila Madam, Muhammad, B. Aishwarya, Sandeep Tawari. Thank you everyone. Thanks a lot and kindly subscribe the channel. It's open to everyone. If anybody is interested to share your knowledge, you can always be in touch. The mail ID is there. You can send a mail to us so that we'll be glad to host you. And I thank Prasad sir and thank Sunil sir. Sunil sir would like to speak. Sunil sir, who has made it possible to host Prasad sir on this platform. Sunil sir, please.
Thank you so much, sir. Given me a very good platform and opportunity, and I really thank Dr. Prasad, sir, who really given a wonderful presentation today. And I hope that this LSRW and the way he is explained, that was really enhanced each and every one. Right? These are all the very important skills that everybody can learn. Okay, so with one skill we cannot do anything. So absolutely we have to work on all the four skills, right? So as Prasad sir rightly said, It was really a wonderful and amazing thing that where we need to learn everything, especially this explanation really, and everybody understand clearly. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Kumar sir. And I also thank Mr. Venkatratnam sir, and who guided me towards this presentation. So I thank all the organizers and Dr. Seenusuru sir for giving this opportunity. Really, I'm grateful to you people.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. With the last two concluding note, Chandrasekhar will conclude because we are running out of the time for going for the second session. So I request Chandrasekhar sir to go ahead with the concluding remarks.
Hi, good evening, all the participants and the resource person, Prasad sir.
Sir, thank you, sir.
Am I audible, sir?
You're audible, sir.
You're audible.
Yes, sir. I just thought of taking an opportunity to congratulate you on your first webinar. I wish you can do many more and impart knowledge to the needy. The presentation was to the point. The content was always there, sir. But as you have been stressing and emphasizing the point of practical approach towards it, and practicing, that's what is going to help people to get the communication skills. It is a hard nut to crack, I'm sure, but it is the only way to prosper in the society, I can say. Lastly, you give an example saying that a check without a sign and even money in the account is the stuff. Without stuff, you can't practice. Without practice, you can't win the communication skills. It's as simple as that. Very nice, to the point, and very transparent session. I would like to take an opportunity to thank you on behalf of all the participants. I thank Maheepathi, Srinivasrao sir, and even Prasad sir for having a wonderful session like this. I look forward for many more and learn more. Thank you.
Thank you, Chandrasekhar sir. Once again, thank you,
Thank
Prasad,
you very much,
sir.
sir. Once I thank Sunil sir. Actually displayed Kumar. Sunil sir spoke that, so I'm really grateful to him. Thank you very much for giving this opportunity.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thank you, Sunil sir, and thank you, Prasad sir.